Yeah. So, yeah, it's like I keep waiting for mom to say, yeah.
I can't even. I'm trying to see
Yeah, it's time.
the time. Yeah.
Okay, we good? All right, folks.
Okay.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Cookie.
This is kind of a stumbled bit here. It's the first time without mom. I didn't really put something well together. But we are going to have some shows coming in the future, including one with the dog catcher who didn't show up this time. That's actually animal control specialist, animal specialist from Austin Humane Society, Austin Animal Shelter. And he can't come on this time because he's got to have permission from the, the whatever it is. And but they really like the idea of coming on.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they want to come on, maybe even as early as next week. But we'll see because, as some of y'all know, I tried to turn my dog in, and they sent it back. I was kind of glad because I didn't really want to. Ma loves this dog, but it's so full of energy, I just can't handle it. But it helps when you come by and walk it, though.
Yeah. That dog does have a lot of energy.
You've got a lot of help through all this. So there's all these programs out there. The dog specialist, he's not really a dog catcher, dog specialist, animal specialist. I'll get right sooner or later here. The animal specialist did come by, Canadian guy, Brandon, and he likes the idea to come on the show, but when he wants to get permission, they all like the idea, but they can't come on tonight because they got to prepare something.
Mm-hmm.
But
That makes sense.
there is lots of programs. We talked some about the no-kill policy, which is obviously supported heavily here in Austin. And I'm almost glad because if it hadn't been for that, they'd have probably kept on. So I'm thinking if that does happen, Gavino, who's out of town and can't be here tonight, we've had dog shows before, animal shows before with Austin Pets Alive, and we bring our pets in. So if we do that, we're going to bring our dogs in next week with the animal specialist and the press lady from Austin Animal Shelter. So that should be pretty good. I can't talk about cats when they're here because people get really hot about the cats.
So is the pet shelter a different place than Austin Pets Alive?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know there's two different places.
There's actually several. The pet shelter is the dog pound.
Okay.
Austin, well, they don't call it what it is anymore. It's the Austin Animal Center or whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
Animal shelter.
Right.
That's the correct term for it. It's the dog pound.
Yeah. I bet they have a lot of dogs there. That's probably why they sent him back.
It's full. That's why they sent it back.
Yeah.
Well, that and the lady come by to help me walk, and I'm so grateful to her, Christian. If you have to thank you so much. She takes my bike long walk. It's been really, really nice when she does because she wears them out. She took the dog down there for me. She, I didn't like it, but I have to do something because the dog was just wearing me out. I didn't want to because I know Mom would probably be upset with me. And then she brought it back. They wouldn't take it. Well, the reason they wouldn't take it was full, and she was not the correct owner. Of course, I'm not the correct owner. It's shipped out of Williamson County, and I know it went to at least two places where it got to me. In other words, this dog was dumped off again and again and again, and Mom, she just has a soft heart. These rejected little animals, I guess, and so we got it. So we brought it back, and I'm kind of glad because I felt bad about getting rid of it. I knew Mom would be very upset with me. Don't worry about it. They make all noise they want. So I was glad about that.
Open.
And I explained all this to the dog catcher, animal specialist. Is that what his title is? I didn't bring the card with me. But everybody's got a title,
Mm-hmm.
Animal specialist. And he gave me some tutors and things to help burn off some energy, and they worked. Some good ideas. We talked about coming on. We also discussed cats, but we can't discuss cats because so many people love cats.
I'm not a fan of cats.
Well, since nobody's here, the problem I have is A long time ago, New York Times had a story called "Kill the Cat That Kills the Bird." And if you might recall, that veterinarian or whatever it was, he used to shot the cat with the bow and arrow and took some
No.
picture. Oh, she caught hell for it. And so I brought this stuff up about how I had a gay warden once tell me that you should kill every cat you see because they're that destructive to the environment. And then when I found out that they're breeding cats, they say, oh, well, they're, what's it called, cut, spayed and neutered, but they're releasing them back to where they go.
Hmm.
And I'm saying, these are just there goes you won't kill the cat, but you don't mind killing the snakes, lizards, and birds. Native species that are already hard pressed by habitat loss, climate change, whatever the hell else you want to call it.
Mhm.
They're hard pressed.
Mhm.
The last thing they need is more cats coming around there that aren't native species. So anyway, we can't talk about that because I got in a lot of trouble for that already on Facebook and in times past. But the title of the article is "Kill the Cat That Kills the Bird," several years old, out of Galveston. And in this case, the cats were killing endangered species birds.
Oh wow.
And so an Audubon guy was shooting these cats. But if you know Galveston at the Sandwich Pass toll bridge, and the toll guy seen him do it, and he called the cops and went all the way to the Supreme Court or something like that. It's a good article. You can look it up. Kill the cat, kill the bird. Kill the cat, kill the bird. And it's New York Times, and it's about this cat case in Galveston. So that's controversial, but we can't go into controversy because. But we can talk about the programs they have to help people like me keep your animal in with you.
Mhm.
Which we've had Nicky since like Christmas, and you've seen him. He's a ball of.
Oh yeah. I think when I walked him, I had to tie
leash
around my wrist a couple times and make it really short because he would take off after anything.
School buses, trucks,
Yeah.
people on bicycles, motorcycles,
Yeah.
birds, squirrels, anything. He's a energy filled dog. Ma used to give him some Benadryl. Okay, I call you now.
I'm gonna have Rosalie come here because she's trying to open that thing. Come here, Rosalie.
Oh yeah, help her out there. Oh boy.
Thank you.
What is that?
Okay.
The snacks.
This is my daughter, Rosalie. She is 7 years old. Come on, Sophia. And this is my other daughter, Sophia, and she is also 7. They're super young Republicans. I'm a young Republican, but they're really young Republicans.
Oh, you got them a bag? Where's my bag?
I have so many bags of this. I don't know.
I still got fried chicken at the home to eat tonight. Everybody, when there's a death in the family, everybody wants to bring you food.
Yeah, that is true.
I still got fried chicken in the refrigerator.
Girls, go in the very back. No.
You want to show them where or what?
I'm asking. Oh, there he is. Can you open that for them?
Yeah, let Uncle Pokey get his knife out. That'll open it.
That would open it.
Y'all can just start playing with his knife. Oh, man, my daughter-in-law flips out whenever I start playing with his grandkids. You want to play with lighters and matches and knives.
Yeah, they don't play with any of that stuff.
It's not no fun no more. I'm trying to sit him on my lap, let him drive the car. Why not?
When I think I had to be in kindergarten. My stepdad did that. He had a Jeep, a really old Jeep at the time, and he would put us on his lap, and we thought we were driving home.
Yeah, they take all the fun out of it now. They've got to have a child teaching all that kind of nonsense. Like, how did we ever survive? Now that I'm old enough to recall standing up the back of pickup trucks, everything.
Wow.
All the fun. They take all the fun out of life, so you can all be safe.
I remember I always used to, whenever you're driving down the road, you would see people sitting in the back of pickup trucks all the time.
Yeah.
I don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. But anyway, that's a whole other different story. I am looking forward to an animal story.
Yeah, that'll be
The
good.
shelter, Austin Pets Alive, there's other ones. They go and they take the overflow and try to give them away. Austin Pets Alive. The only problem I have with them is they act like you're adopting a child or something. They want you to fill out
Yes.
paperwork and do all this. And that's a dead dog.
I adopted a dog from there before. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was crazy because I had fostered the dog and then.
I mean, get real. You got a bunch of them. Gotta get rid of them. I'm gonna use them for shark bait. Yeah, I'll take all you want. That's what the other be saying. If I'd have said that, no, you can't never have a dog.
No.
What are you doing all these dogs? The shelter was full. I think he said there's 600 some odd dogs down there.
Wow.
And he came and met that some, if you were to humanely euthanize 2, 4, 8% of them, he didn't tell me just how much the cost was per dog, but there's a cost benefit analysis to everything. And you get rid of even just 2%, that would free up a lot of resources. And you got to admit that there's dogs down there that just are not going to be.
Yeah.
Vicious dogs, old, ugly dogs nobody wants. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Just what are you going to do? Leave these dogs in these cages till they're old?
A lot of them, at least when I went to Austin Pets Alive, the cute little dogs get taken up right away. But it's the older, like, pit bull type dogs that,
nobody wants
they're
one.
sitting in there. Yeah.
So that's like, what do you do? But with the no-kill policy, that you can't do that to dogs or cats. So with cats would overflow, they just take the cat right back out and put it where they found it, which starts my little problem. But with dogs, I guess they can't do that. Put the dog back on the street.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have him down here. I'm pretty sure they're going to show up because he sounded really interested.
Yeah, I'm sure they would love it. Probably by next week they'll be able to.
I'm going to put you for next week. We do have Gabe Dickey for the first.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring in any other guests with him this time. And it'll just be, you.
Just him. Or
maybe
he's the main
Debbie
guest.
or Gavino. And
that'll be good. That'll be good.
That'll
I'm
be
excited to hear what he has to say about heading into 2020 and all the stuff we need to do to get ready for that and make sure we win.
Good luck. All I see is the Democrats are hustling.
I know.
I was always outreach to, the black and Hispanic community, but you also need to do the youth as well.
Yes.
I heard some Democrats bragging about they registered 500 people at various high school graduations.
Right.
And I'm thinking, where the hell are we?
Yeah, so we haven't, really got on that. We are way behind the Democrats. They pretty much started registering voters and outreach and all that right after the last election, the 2018. And
they got all the money and the resources to do that kind of thing. All of us got jobs.
Yeah, that's true, but we could have. There's more we could have been doing.
Yeah.
And so for the Austin Young Republicans, anyways, for next month, we've set up a.
You are the
president.
Yeah.
We set up I always get this name wrong. Deputy
voter registrar.
Voter registrar training.
It's the first year I haven't been on.
Yeah, well, you can come on July 18th and just get it done.
Oh, you're taking the training.
Yeah, or the training to be able to register.
I did go to one school, the one right down the road from here with the big fence all around it. And I went to a grocery store one time, but other than that, I didn't really go out in the street. I just had it to have it.
Yeah, well, it's good to have it. You never know, especially.
I think that we all ought to take it.
Exactly. Because our goal for the Republican Party in Texas as a whole is to register 1.1 million new voters before the presidential election to make sure we're comfortable enough to know we will win.
I don't know how many days it is till the end of voter registration for that. But
when does
a
it
lot
end?
Of people every day.
Is it 30 days before the election that you have to register? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they have to have Gavino in here for that one.
I'll find out in the training.
Yeah, or on the computer.
That too.
It's
But that's going to be the most important thing.
It is. I can't seem to. It's really been. It's. I shouldn't do this, but it's been 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I should be counting days like that. It's been tough to come down here. We don't have our usual backdrop because Ma had all that on her.
Oh, that's
And I didn't prepare for, I didn't bring her hard drive that had that kind of stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take a lot. And when the dog catcher, animal specialist, he's a dog whisperer, told me 2 days ago, I didn't bother to do much to get us another guest. I figured I kind of like, sometimes, and Ma did always say, just shoot the breeze a little while.
Yeah, no, it is.
I was going to use another word, but we do that kiddos play, stuff like that. And it is 5 o'clock hour. That seems to be another problem we had. I know Marilyn Jackson wants to come off real bad.
Yeah.
She was always a regular for years.
She's great.
But she can't make it at this hour. We started doing this because, well, we want to leave room for Cole because he's got more of a late night show. And let's face it, we just got old and we can be home by 7 o'clock, It's nice.
Right, that is nice.
Instead of starting at 7 and you're home at 9:30.
Especially for those of us who do have to, get up early the next day and
or too old to stay up that late to begin with. Yeah, it's I call it Republican disease. All the Republicans don't have jobs.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
It's a good problem to have.
Well, it is, but they can go out and register voters all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. I remember one day before school ended for the summer, I was driving. I was on 2222, and I was driving to work 7:30 in the morning. There was a bunch of Democrats on the side of the highway. They were together holding up signs that said, like, hold McCall responsible and let's recall McCall. And I was like, oh, they're already, then that's what made me start thinking. They're already at it. I'm driving to work and they're sitting here almost, a year and a half before.
For those who don't know, you are a high school teacher. I don't know if we can mention anywhere, so I won't say that.
I don't want to say anywhere.
Okay, but yeah, that's a good example. They can put together a team to go out there and protest.
Mm-hmm.
And were there any counter protesters at all?
No, it was just a bunch of ladies just on the side holding these signs for all of rush hour traffic to see.
And we don't do anything to counter it.
No.
I first noticed that problem. They went to McCall's office a while back. And we had nobody to go counter it.
Yeah.
I didn't show any support for Congressman McCall. He's been a pretty good congressman.
Yeah, he has. And there needs to be a way for information to be spread about these events so that we can show up. Because I don't find out
about
them.
Group on the computer. They have their Justice Democrats on the computer. You're right. There needs to be some kind of way, and I can't do it anymore. I used to get out in the street fairly heavy. Once I got laid off like this. And before this, I used to take my dump truck, not park it, not go out and protest and get back in it, man.
And you had all the stickers on the back of that, right?
I know, stickers on the back of my dump truck. You can tell when you get people that really are pissed off. I didn't have a GoPro, but I'd had some good shots of people trying to cut me off, flip me off, and all that shit.
I bet.
That's right. I had all those stickers on the back of my dump truck years ago.
Yeah, this past weekend I went to a gun show in San Antonio.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and, everyone there, they're selling these Trump hats. Everyone just has all these awesome car stickers they're selling. And I thought, and I was like, okay, there's nothing like that in Austin. And if there was, I know so many people would show up to try and stop people from even being able to get into the place. But
it's true. We don't have gun shows anymore.
Yeah.
You got to go to Round Rock or Georgetown.
Or San Antonio.
San Antonio. San Marcos, I think, used to have one.
Oh, does it? So I was thinking, because I was trying to figure out places to go to register voters. And I was like, oh my gosh, a gun show. But then they don't have...
They're already registered.
Well, but some of them, maybe they don't know that they need to renew theirs or whatever. But there isn't any in Travis County. So I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, well, I did go to one of those places before.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're already registered.
Oh, I bet.
Most of them are all.
Yeah.
If you're at a gun show, then you're usually politically savvy.
Right.
As far as you're registered to vote, you participate.
Now, some of the gun people aren't too happy with Trump. I haven't been following all that as far as the gun stuff goes too much, but I've heard that they're not happy with him. Do you know why?
Because he didn't sign off on the silencer thing.
Oh.
I believe it is.
That's right.
Which I'm not sure I really object to. Some of the gun people don't like me either because I don't really see a problem with raising the age of 21 for certain types of weapons.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any strong opinion on
well, in the military, they're extremely strict on the weapons handling. You can't just really get one out now. I'm going to go down to the shooting range for a while, sorry. It doesn't work that way. So what? You got to wait till you're 21 to buy a 30-round magazine and an AR-15? I get a problem, and the silencer, it's suppressor. It's not really a silencer. I don't know. I don't know what you really want one for. I know in the wrong hands they can be extremely deadly.
Oh, of course. But a lot of stuff in the wrong hands that are legal can be.
No, I mean an AR-15 in the wrong hands can be extremely deadly. You put a silencer on the end of it, and you're in serious trouble.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you go, what the hell was that? Because you're not going to hear it. It's not going to sound like a just little mild popping. Where without it, you're going to hear it if you're clear a long way away.
Right.
So, I don't know. It can be a tough decision on that one.
Yeah.
And I got now on Facebook somebody waiting for me to come back at them. They were complaining like that.
Uh-huh.
And I said, better than Democrats.
Right.
And they said, oh, that's the kind of attitude it's going to get us all kind of. No, these people are just, they want their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
I guess I'm showing my age. I go back to Ann Richards. It used to be a felony to carry a gun in Texas. We've made all this progress. Let's not blow it now. If you don't like the way these Republicans are treating you, what are the Democrats going to do when they take over? They will be anti-gun. They will start removing those rights that we worked so hard to get. They'll do it. They'll do it. They'll do it.
Oh, yeah. That's probably one of the first things that, is
first
on their
things they'll
plan.
do is all your precious gun rights are going to be going away.
Right.
No more open carry if you have a license. I don't get it. I mean, why do you got to complain? I know it's not the best. We're expecting the best. Well, it's better off. I just can't figure it all out sometimes. It's just like, oh,
Now,
I'll take a rhino over a Democrat.
Right.
Especially on this issue anyway, about any issue.
Well, our governor and lieutenant governor, they don't do anything to advance gun issues, though. They really don't. It's up to if there's legislators that want to, but they're pretty. I know Abbott with his red flag laws, he does want to restrict some things, but they aren't really helping the issue. They're just kind of there.
Now, that's another thing. You even put it up there. Which state rep, state senator, whatever, do you dislike the most? I'd rather you put up there which one you like the best.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking at the positive side of things. A lot of good legislation did come out of this session. One nobody even knows about. Gary, what was that called? The Driver Responsibility Act?
Oh, yeah.
Because this was hell on poor people.
Yeah, no, that is
driver
program.
Driver Responsibility Program. Thank you, sir.
It.
Gary Taylor is helping in the control room now, and probably will be, we hope. Cole is the producer officially, and we thank him very much. And stay tuned because he will be coming on tonight. What time, Cole? 7? 7:30. We got Boogie Shadows tonight. Oh, yeah, you usually got pretty good music, but some of the other stuff's kind of weird. I guess you got to be a younger person or something to understand some of it.
What kind of music is it?
Come on, tell us what it is.
It'll be interesting. That's with the improvisational band.
Improvisational band. What the hell is an
Spooky
improvisational band?
Yeah, well,
improvisational
they're gonna have
band.
an upright bass. They're gonna have a
Upright
vocalist.
bass. You mean stand up and
Yeah, bass fiddle.
yeah?
And then they're gonna have some synthesizer effects. It's gonna be great. You gotta tune in at 7:30. In fact, if y'all want you to race home, bring the kids. It's kid friendly, and just tune in to channel 10.
I actually have it set on recording now. Yeah, so it'll get it.
As many times as you can before you.
That's good. I know sometimes the synthesized stuff. I think you can leave that off.
Well,
But the music, usually the music's pretty good.
I know how you feel about record scratching. Well, there won't be any of that tonight.
Yeah. Oh my lord, what the hell? Everything's all great. I especially like the dancing girls too. I guess maybe that's because I'm old.
I'll definitely watch that because I set record when I recorded today. It records from 5 to 9. That's how it has it set up. So I'll get it and I'll make sure I tune in because I'm interested in what that is.
We've had a trouble recording this show and get it on YouTube. I don't know what happened last week when we had that really great show from Ma.
Oh, it didn't.
I don't think so. Anthony Wynn is really great at doing it.
Yeah, I've
But for
noticed.
some reason he said the audio didn't come through on his recording. Now the audio went out on the website that it was broadcast on. I don't know. All this stuff's way beyond me, I'm afraid.
It's beyond me too.
But you're a lot younger. You're supposed
I
to know
know.
that stuff.
I should. You're right. I should. And I'm not the best with technology.
Well, I'll quickly go into my little dilemma. This morning about 8:30, there was a pretty big wreck down at Staffney and Knuckles Crossing, and my computer and all that stuff went off.
Mm-hmm.
It hit the telephone pole, and I don't have TV or internet. So I called them up and they said get a large power outage in your area. Well, coming out here, when I left to come out here about 4:30, quarter to 4 or so, they were just now arriving on scene to fix it. They had to tape all up and everything, but you could tell they knocked the box down, hit the pole, and the pole propped up.
Man.
So it's been without all day, and I'm hoping he said they'll call me. I'm hoping they do it here. I'm gonna answer it live because they'll say we missed all day of internet, and I couldn't get on the telephone either. And so I want to know. I got to have me a bill reduction. I lost a lot of business. Maybe not financial business, but you don't have to tell them that.
Yeah.
Because I already went through it with them on trying to reduce this bill.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we talked about that.
$90 to watch TV, and they say, "Oh, that's your sale."
Have you talked to them anymore about that?
No, I got frustrated when I said cut this and cut that. Next thing I know, they didn't have any TV at all. Oh hell with it! Just put it all back, and now I'm worried about. I don't know what to do with that kind of stuff. It's been difficult. You start to realize I would always get mad while spending all this money. But now I'm seeing why she was spending it all, because I like my Smithsonian Channel and my Animal Planet and National Geo Channel and all that kind of shows.
Yeah.
That are.
Yeah, that costs.
Yeah, well, I want to watch those shows. You can get rid of all that other stuff. But she had to have Judge Judy and all that on there as well. So, and now.
Well, those are the cheap channels that play Judge Judy.
Well, I couldn't get them to just give me these handful of channels. I either had to have tier 1 or tier 2.
Oh, yeah. Both. Yeah, I have them too.
So if I get, which one is the high channels that I don't need?
Yeah.
I just couldn't quite figure it all out.
Yeah, I know the YouTube TV has become more popular, where I think you can actually pick channels.
That's what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah.
Is go to the YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, so we are going to push for... Where were we? About politics? You know?
I'm trying to think, how did we get to this conversation?
Well, that's what Mom was saying. We used to do this kind of stuff more often. I am excited to have the dog catcher down here. So you probably don't want me calling him the dog catcher. He's the animal specialist.
Yeah, they'll probably correct you really fast on that.
Yeah, animal specialist. It's not the dog pound. It's the Austin Animal Shelter.
Right.
Why don't they just call it what it is?
It makes people feel better. If you call it
And it costs a
auctioning
lot more
or
too.
something.
I
Right.
think, anyway.
Probably.
So they do have lots. They brought over some toys. It'd be good to have them on here, even if I can't talk about the cats. You can mention the cats that are in there. They're full of cats too. Groups like Austin Pretzel Live, they take the overflow. They seem to think they're better giving them away than the animal shelter.
Mm.
Maybe they are because they advertise more or something. We've gotten two through them. One of them's buried in the yard, 16 years old, 17 years old. I don't know, he was an old dog.
Yeah, that's old.
No, that's the one we bought. The pure blood Chihuahua will be old. So we haven't. We've only gotten one dog and one cat.
Mm.
And Nikki killed a cat. Just played with it to death. Didn't, get vicious or anything with it. Just wouldn't leave it alone. There was an old cat, we're trying to help get rid of this old cat. The old cat just couldn't put up with it. Just laid down and died from it.
Oh my goodness.
It was sad.
That is sad. I don't know why I'm laughing. Because I'm picturing the dog.
Oh, I have pictures over here. I can show you. It's crazy stuff.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you don't need to see these,
No.
It was really wild stuff. But the cat just gave up because, what the hell are you going to do? And they showed pictures behind us last week when we were doing Mom's show, right?
Yeah, there are pictures behind us.
That was good because I seen them pictures of us from Mirror. Went to Washington, D.C. with my cousins and Nation Islam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you telling that story last week.
Yeah, we just, we used to go see for ourselves. People will tell you these things. Like people say so much nonsense about the Republican Party. You know any? Go meet some. You'll find out it ain't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the same with the Nation Islam. They're kind of stuck in their ways, I guess you could say. But
yeah, I don't know many people. Oh my goodness, that's.
yeah, he just will not leave that cat alone.
That is funny.
Oh my God, the cat's saying, "Please help me." But there's just nothing we can do when you turn around. He's all over the cat. So yeah, we don't need to.
Now, I have a question because we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but then we kind of went off the topic. But so we were talking about what type of progress was made during this past session.
Let's ask James, I guess, because I know he'd be glad to.
Yeah, he will definitely say something about it. But
the driver responsibility program is the really one I like.
But there's a lot that, for example, there is no pro-life bills passed that actually helped prevent abortions
we're down to
from
what,
happening.
12 weeks now, right?
I don't know.
What's the current law? I thought the current law was like anything after 12 weeks is illegal. It's not on demand anymore, is it?
They have them after 12 weeks. I don't know what
16 or
I think it may be 16.
Partial birth stuff here in Texas anymore.
I think it may be 16, but yeah, there is like the heartbeat bill. The heartbeat bill didn't even get passed, and a lot of other states have that.
I know.
And so do we now? When I look at it like the Republican Party of Texas is kind of almost ignoring that not that much really did happen. There were some good things dealing with school finance and property taxes that hasn't happened in a long time, but there's also not too much else that really happened. And I feel like maybe they're ignoring that a little bit or trying to, hey, if we don't talk about it, eventually no one else will ask us questions anymore and we'll keep on going.
It's ignoring the far right side of our party?
No, I think they're ignoring the lack of conservative legislation from this past session, is what I think. And kind of pretending that everything was great, and I don't know.
Well, I never could understand the speaker. I mean, Craddock was a great speaker. I don't know what they got rid of him for. Way back in, I'm showing my age again, maybe. And then Strauss, they even pointed out with Strauss, they complained about him. I said, well, the Democrats had like 30% of the House, and they only got 25% of the chairs on the committees and all. And then they come back and well, but he gave them the important chairs like calendars. There's just no winning on some ideas.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Paul Workman said, some people got mad at him because he was friendly with Donna Howard, is it? The Democrat lady? But he sits right next to her. Yeah, come on up there. But he sits right next to her, so what's he supposed to do?
Y'all need to stop.
Between you?
Yeah.
That's the only way. Don't scoot
We'll get your producer.
close together because as you see, look up on the screen there. We need to scoot back toward me.
You know, that burnt orange, I got
Come this way. Come this way.
orange frog friends. They're not going to get upset on it.
Come toward me. All right, good. We got it.
There we go.
Are they?
Let me talk about the legislature.
Okay.
Not football because we have burnt orange behind us instead of.
Wow, well, that has nothing to do with UT. That's just, anyway. We can try purple next week, or we'll get the trailers.
We'll get the trailer.
We'll get the trailers. I want to talk about this legislation.
All right, go ahead. We got the time.
I don't disagree that a lot of people were disappointed by the results, but I don't think that I expected much more because when you talk to Jennifer Drabbant or you talk to James Dickey,
I'm sorry, I have to.
Go ahead.
if you
I
talk
appreciate when you do that.
if you talk to
We do got to clean this place up.
we do if you talk to an activist, they're going to be disappointed. So the question is for Jennifer or for anyone else. Like Jennifer, are you sort of in the middle of the road or are you conservative? Yeah, you're very conservative. My point is that the people who
Should be a Britain
the people who go to the convention and write the platform are not going to be middle of the road people. They're going to be conservative people. So they're going to be disappointed almost every single session because they're unless Republican activists can go into their precincts and win every precinct in Texas, some of the people who get elected are going to be elected not just by middle of the road voters, but by liberal voters. Those people who have to work in the Capitol building represent all the voters. So we can try to persuade people to be more conservative. We can try to persuade them to vote for conservative candidates. But I think that we're off in the weeds on this idea that the speaker needs to be replaced and that we need to throw away 150 representatives and start all over. We're not going to get to where we have 150 Jonathan Sticklins. And so, in other words, I'm not really disagreeing with you about what got done. What got done, constitutional carry is what didn't get done.
There's a lot that didn't get done. Also, I don't think replacing the speaker is the answer.
Okay.
I don't, because everyone wanted to do that last session, and we did it, and still
Look what
nothing
you got.
changed. Yeah, so that I don't think it's the answer. I do think putting in 150 Jonathan Sticklins is the answer.
Okay, then we have to do that. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I would not be unhappy. I would not say, oh, we need a few liberals. That's not my argument.
Mm-hmm.
My argument is that if we have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, how did we do in Travis? We lost. The only Republican legislator we have.
Yeah.
We have a chance to take that seat back.
We do.
So everyone in
very good
every
chance.
district in Texas needs to try to recruit someone to file for office before December the 9th or 11th or whatever it is, and then they need to work their tails
That's
off,
it.
not just to turn people out, but to be persuasive. And we're probably not going to get 150 Jonathan Sticklins. But we should be working that direction.
That's what I said. I was talking. I thought this was just a conversation I was having with someone. I don't think I said it. But I was talking. I'm trying to remember what I said different places. But But I'm having a conversation that if just for each HD in Texas, if each district, if you could just have like a really dedicated group of people that are gonna get out and block walk everywhere in the district, be on the side of the road holding signs, whatever, for this really conservative person or real conservative or whatever, that will make a difference. I feel like if you can get a group like that in each district that's
Well,
really pushing for one person, it could make a huge difference.
it'll make a huge difference for the whole legislature because there are going to be 10 or 15 or 20 seats
Mm-hmm.
that switch sides.
Right.
So we could lose control of the entire legislature.
Mm-hmm.
And for those people who say, "Oh, what's going to be the difference? It's just going to be moderate Democrats instead of moderate Republicans." It's going to be a really big difference because the state's going to start paying for
I
abortions.
think I've said that sometimes. I flip flop back and forth
So
on how I feel.
the other thing is, Gabriel Neela is a great friend of this show. He has been on the show many times.
Mm-hmm.
He has been a 2-time candidate for the State House. He is a conservative candidate. He's one who we all want to win. And I think we need to face the fact that in 2016, he was beaten by an empty chair.
Right.
The voters in his district would rather have no representative at all than to have a Republican.
Or was it someone in...
Even Hispanic.
Well, her name was Donna Dukes, and she was the incumbent. And she said, "I know I've got a lot of problems, and I know the FBI is after me, but if you'll vote for me, I'll resign." And so people voted for her.
What?
That's what happened in 2016.
That's what happened?
The
Oh
state
my
legislature was
goodness.
very good to Donna Dukes
Oh,
and all her
Lord.
family.
And then she lost in the primary in 2018, and Cheryl Cole ran to replace her and won that seat. Now, you know, we are less likely to pick up that seat than we are the Paul Workman seat, because that
I was surprised Paul Workman lost.
well, a lot of us were.
Yeah, that was very surprising. I thought it was going to be a shoot. Like, you know, I thought it was a done deal, which
He's the problem.
actually is the problem. Exactly. Going into 2020, there are some people who they really think, like, we're good. In 2020, like, at the national level, we're good. We don't have to do anything. And I think we're in way more trouble than 2016. That's my opinion.
And I think we can even say that you know, there are people who are big cheerleaders for the president, and they don't want to hear that.
Yes.
They don't, because they think that you're saying, "Oh, we're all gonna die."
Yeah. No.
And that's not what you're saying.
No, I've had some people on social media really attack me if I pointed out something like that. I think, or if I say something, you know, like, "Hey, I don't think this thing that our president did is so great." Oh my gosh, I've had some people curse me out, and I'm like, what is going on?
That's the other point I'd like to make about the legislature, is that we can't get 150 Jonathan Sticklands. However, I think that we can pick some issues, and we can convince voters, and we can convince sitting legislators to vote differently on some of the issues that are going to come up. The constitutional carry that I mentioned is the law in 15 or so states, 10 or 15. The point being that when someone says they want constitutional carry, it's not crazy pants. It's not like they're going out there and saying they want every 15-year-old to have a submachine gun.
And that's what a lot of people think.
They think it's crazy. They think
it's
that
what you're saying.
They think that you have to be a nut to want constitutional carry.
Right.
So there's a lot of persuasion in talking to our neighbors and our friends, and so we may still end up with a legislator that we don't like, but if that legislator is hearing from voters saying, what is the problem with constitutional carry? If the legislator said, "Oh, well, those people are nuts," say, "No, they're not. I've met them. I've spoken to them. How is it that this structure of gun licensing is working fine in these 10 states?"
Right.
Like, do you pick up the paper and say, "Oh, well, they killed another 500 people in Alabama today"? It's not the way it works.
You might as well wait till they finish and then clean all that up. Oh,
So-
no,
so-
at your studio, you gotta be sure to clean up too.
Yeah, I suppose that's right.
Not to go off somewhere.
Well,
I understand there was a time right here in Texas when you could get out of the prison in Huntsville, Texas, walk across the street and buy a gun. Now, this is not constitutional carry. That was back in the 20s and 30s, 1920s and 30s, when it was a different time. Constitutional carry means if you can qualify to buy a gun, then you can carry one.
and this is something that nobody understands. This, Pokey.
Doesn't mean you have to.
People think that you have to have a license to buy a gun, and you actually don't.
No.
Um,
Well, I don't know if he'd like that, believe that, but I can see what they're saying. Isn't everybody be carrying a gun around all the time out in the open? And they're just not so used to seeing that.
well, the problem is that there are people who are carrying guns, and they're keeping them hidden because they'd be arrested if
Yeah, the wrong people can.
the wrong people are carrying them.
One of our early, that was part of to get an original, because you had to get a license passed. I remember Ma Richards, and the old sheriff came down from, I forget where in West Texas. The only solution to bad people with guns is good people with guns. It's as simple as that. You can't legislate it. You can't. No matter what, all these guys in state out of state, that's just the facts.
And it's an argument that upsets liberals because they say, no, we've got to have common sense legislation.
Yeah, I like that word, common sense.
Yeah.
Let's have
What is it?
common sense abortion legislation too.
Yeah.
See nothing wrong with restricting it to 12 weeks or 14 weeks or whatever.
Or restricting it at all.
We gotta be
No.
Well,
common sense.
we had just a really horrible attack in Sutherland Springs, and we saw a perfect example, and it may be the most perfect example. It may be an unusual example because it was so dramatic, but a citizen who had a gun knew how to use it so well that he killed the bad guy by shooting underneath his vest. He shot under his arm. He didn't kill him. He ran him off though, and the guy killed himself. So that was probably the best possible outcome because now the hero doesn't have to think about killing someone. He stopped someone from
Mhm.
killing 20 or 30 more people.
Well, one thing I'll brag about Ma Richards on one thing. She was the first one I ever heard, probably the only one I've ever heard, to admit that the power of the gun vote. Maybe our party needs to remember that. Yeah, because you know how popular, and no, maybe you don't, or I don't know if you old enough to remember, Ann Richards is very, very popular. If she hadn't said, if that legislation hits my desk, I'll veto it, she's probably gone to the White House. If she had lived long enough. Because there was no doubt about it, she was going to be reelected. But when she made that statement concerning the CHL law, that was it. George Bush, and look where he went with the gun vote.
I've got
You know,
a
it's
story.
a gun vote that made George Bush go all the way to the White House.
I've got a story. I've got a personal story.
All right, go.
So I was living in
You
Washington.
got time?
Yeah, we got an hour and a half. It'll only take an hour and a half. I was living in Washington.
You got an hour, right?
I was going, yeah, we got about 10 minutes in this show. I was living in Washington, D.C. Every month I would go to the Texas Breakfast Club. And one month I got in there and a guy sat down next to me and he started talking and we didn't have time to introduce ourselves. But I said, does George W. have a chance against Ann Richards? This was obviously 94. And he said, oh, Ann Richards doesn't have a chance.
She didn't have a chance. When she made that statement, it was over.
And I said, well, I know she's popular. And
Tell him.
she went to the convention and she said that Bush was born with a silver foot in his mouth, and she was a very colorful character. But he said, no, she's the wrong party. He said there aren't going to be any Democrats elected to statewide office in Texas for the next 20 years.
That's
And I
right.
said, really? I said, I was living in
Yeah,
Texas
yeah.
up until 1983 or 84. So how is it that it's changed that much? He said,
Solid Democrat.
just it has changed that much. I said,
That
well,
was the one issue.
what was your name? He said, my name's John Cornyn. I'm running for Attorney General. So that was the way I met Cornyn. I knew his name, but I didn't recognize him at the time. So yeah, when I was in high school, I was living in a state where there hadn't been any Republicans elected John Tower is
All
our
built
senator.
peaceful Texas farm rights, and there wasn't really a lot of push for it. The CHL was good, and when she said if it hits my desk, I'll veto it. It was just like a piece of dynamite when activists come out of the woodwork.
I bet.
And yeah, he told you exactly right. There will never be another. It'll be 20 years.
Well, it has been. His
gun
prediction
vote
has come true.
Clean the entire state house out.
Well, I think that people who have guns believe that the Constitution is very clear on this, and there's no other issue where you can say, there it is. It's right there in plain black and white. And they care very much about that issue. And that's why I think if you had a referendum to say all handgun owners should have to go through a target practice and a 500-question psychology test, probably a majority of voters would say, yeah, I'm for that. Because
I don't know about that, but
the minority who have guns care about this issue much more, and they will decide who to vote for.
Like I said, I have no problem with the 21 for the certain weapons. And I really think that at least some kind of minimal training is good because of the liability issues. If you're a crack shot, don't ever shoot somebody to kill them. You only want to stop. Center mass, urinate on yourself, and cry. Because that way, hey, it scared the piss out of me. You know? And if you shoot them right between the eyes, oh, that's an accident. I went for center mass and went high. But if you qualify and you got a high score on that test, they say, no, you're a crack shot. You meant to kill. These lawyers will come, no matter if you do get one, the lawyers will come out the woodwork.
Well,
and they'll come after you and they all that test. But mostly for it's the same thing that the DPS takes. And I really appreciated the de-escalation. I may be a better driver. I was in my truck. Reginald Denny right there with me. That's what I call a pistol. And they love a real gun, but you can't have no road rage shit. You got to be a very good driver. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I didn't see you there. I back off all the time. The dispute resolution training is really good. When you carry the weapon, the last thing you want to do is have to pull the damn thing out.
Well, you were talking about shooting people. Have you ever shot at a person? And my dear brother, who's the best man I know in Abilene, he's got a dozen guns in his house. He's never shot at a human being. That's the misconception, is every time the subject of guns comes up, Democrats say that's all they're good for, is killing people.
What do you carry a gun for? You want to kill somebody?
Yeah, I mean, another example is my friend. He has like 15 to 20. Like I'm questioning, but 15 to 20, and yeah, he's not shot at anyone. So
no, and we all are very glad that there are service members who have taken that terrible responsibility to shoot.
Mexico City.
Right.
Is this Gavino?
That's Gavino. He's still in Mexico City.
Ciudad de Mexico. Hola.
No,
he didn't understand what you were saying.
No, it's like, I speak Spanish. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't speak Spanish at all. I love Mexico City. We should have a Mexico City show.
I would so much love to go with Gavino on one of his trips to Monterey and Mexico City. But I can't do it like this. And it really turned out to be good. One of his trips back from, I think it was in Monterey, they got to the border, but the bus broke down. They had to walk across the border to get on the bus in Laredo.
Wow.
And that would have just killed me, you know. I'm thinking, maybe I could do that, because, you get on the bus, maybe get off the bus, get right on another bus. I couldn't make that walk.
What we need to get you is a motorized chair.
Where are you going to put that on the bus in Mexico?
I don't know. A big old long ramp. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
They don't have the kneeling buses where you just jump up the steps like this?
Even on Greyhound, I have taken Greyhound, but I came back 24 hours on Greyhound from Florida. And that was nice enough, I guess. But, you got to schedule. You get your shit, you get it on. This Mr. Zeman here, he might help you carry a bag or two, but it's best. I need a babysitter.
Well, you're an inspiration to everyone around you, Pokey, because this is hard. Any of us who've had asthma or something, you get over it a few days later and you say, man, I hated that. I couldn't really breathe. And you've been. When did you start using the
It's
equipment?
been now 7 years now. Mine. Well, no, I used to get out some with it. You see, like I posted a picture earlier about the 2013 Juneteenth where we had with Gavino and all them and the Republican Party, booth. So we did used to get out in the street, and I used to get out in the street a lot more than I do, especially in my neighborhood. But it's the time
Yeah,
goes
I've
on.
seen a video with James
He has credits
dancing
up here.
at one of them at the Juneteenth. I saw it was before I moved here. Maybe it was that time or something. But
Yeah, it was. No, we got time. Keep going.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time on the air. We're doing credits now. We've got about 3 minutes maybe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cole. Sutter. It was. Yeah, we're gonna do something again next week.
And we have Quinn and Alex here who we're not
Quinn and
seeing. They're
Come on out
waiting.
here for the camera. Let's take you out.
yeah.
Come on, walk right behind you. Back the camera around. Just say
You
hi.
don't want to come? No.
You should
Well,
come
thank
because
y'all
this is
for
going to
your
go on
help.
YouTube and it'll be there when you're a grandfather and you can say, "Come over
This is
here."
where I
kid."
started.
It's been kind of hard to. I didn't do well on this show as far as I thought I had a dog catcher, animal specialist on. I could have done better when I already knew he wasn't going to make it. But Mom did say we should just do some of these kind of shows more often.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, sometimes I book this stuff a month in advance, which is kind of hard to keep up to sometimes. Like James Dickey's for July 1st. And I'll do something for next week. Because sometimes I almost feel like we waste of time unless we have some local issue or candidate or something on.
Oh, I have an announcement I have to make.
Oh, quickly, you gotta
Okay. This Saturday at the Capitol, the Austin Young Republicans are having their leadership summit in the Capitol Auditorium. Okay, Gary Teal is going to be one of our panelists for our activist panel. I just have to make sure because I realize we haven't talked. Okay, and that is at 12:30 at the Capitol Auditorium.
I can't see the clock. I'm sorry.
You got
The camera's in between me and the
You got
clock.
45 seconds, yeah.
Okay, so that's Saturday, and that's open to
Anyone, and we have U.S. Congressman Bill Flores,
Great.
Steve
30 seconds.
Allison, Michael Cargill, a bunch of consultants.
Yay.
We have Adriana Aldine, so it'll be good. I'm excited.
We need to have her back on the show again.
Yeah, she's great. Oh, she would love to come.
That'd be good.
Well, yeah, she's been pretty busy. I was supposed to call her when she got back from wherever she was going to.
And she's
Anyway,
always
10 seconds
somewhere.
left. I appreciate it, y'all.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you. This was
Thank
a good show.
Yeah, we'll
was
keep
nice.
going. And there'll be some good stuff coming up.
Right.
Anyway, so long, folks.
Bye bye.
That was just in time.